Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Talk and Shine. I'm your host Destiny. This is a space where we talk about the news. I give y'all a little real talk, and of course I give y'all some advice at the end. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Talk your shine, baby, talk and shine. Let's talk about something that's been trending lately involving one of the biggest coffee companies in the world, Starbucks. Recently, a new lawsuit filed in 2026 claims that Starbucks may have misled customers about what's in their coffee and how their coffee is sourced. Now, before we get too deep into it, I want to be clear. These are just allegations in an ongoing lawsuit, meaning the court still has to determine what's true and what isn't. One of the biggest
So, in case you didn't know, Starbucks is being sued right now. So if you don't drink Starbucks, you can go ahead and keep scrolling. But basically, Starbucks is being sued right now because they have been putting harmful chemicals into their coffee for a while now and not telling us about it. They've been putting chemicals like VOCs into their coffee, which stands for volatile organic compounds. Basically, these compounds can potentially cause cancer if you have too many of them. Yeah. But because of this, Starbucks is being sued right now for $40 million for wrongdoing and violating consumer protection laws and stuff. I don't know. It's absolutely insane. But basically, you could get up to $1,000 just by applying for this law, as long as you've had Starbucks before. I found out about this lawsuit on the claimmoney.com website. It literally took me less than 2 seconds to apply. So if you or somebody you know has had...
The biggest issues mentioned in the lawsuit involves decaf coffee. The plaintiffs say testing found traces amount of industrial chemicals, including a solvent called methylene chloride, which is sometimes used in certain coffee decaffeination processes. According to the lawsuit, customers weren't aware that chemicals like this might be involved in the process. The argument is that if people had known, they might have made different choices when buying their coffee. Another part of the lawsuit focused on Starbucks claiming that their coffee is 100% ethically sourced. The plaintiffs say that some farms in the company's supply chain allegedly had labor or human rights issues, which they argue conflicts with the brand's ethical marketing. Again, this is something that the courts will have to investigate and determine. The story is bigger than just coffee. It raises questions like, how transparent should companies be about their ingredients and process? And how much responsibility do big brands have when they make ethical claims in their marketing? For a lot of consumers, especially young generations, people want to know exactly where their products come from and how they're made. Whether you drink Starbucks every day or prefer a local coffee shop, the key takeaway is this. Stay informed, ask questions, and pay attention to how companies communicate with their customers. Because at the end of the day, consumer awareness is powerful. And we'll definitely keep a watch on this story. If anything else comes up about it, I'll put it in here for y'all. So, let's get right on to the next thing. All right, y'all. I want to talk about something that's been serious in the news lately. Fentanyl that looks like candy. Across the United States, law enforcement has been warning about something called rainbow fentanyl. It's a version of a drug, fentanyl, that comes in bright colors or candy-like shapes, including pills that look like sweet tarts or gummy candies. Fentanyl itself is extremely powerful. Experts say it can be up to 50 times stronger than heroin, and just a tiny amount can be deadly. Authorities have found pills that are pink, purple, green, and rainbow colored. In some cases, they've even shaped like hearts or candy pieces. The biggest concern is that these pills could be mistaken for candy or regular medication, especially for young people. In some cases, fentanyl is also being mixed into fake prescription pills, meaning someone might take it without even knowing. Officials are urging parents, schools, and communities to talk with their young people about the dangers and remind them never to take pills that didn't come from a pharmacy or a doctor. This is one of the topics where awareness really can save lives. If you're listening right now, share this information with someone you care about. about something interesting happening in the fast food world. The CEO of McDonald's, Chris, I'm going to link a picture and his name, recently posted a video testing their new burger called the Big Arch. Sounds simple, right? But the internet had other plans. Instead of hyping up the burger, the video went viral because he honestly looked a little uncomfortable when he was eating that burger. He took a tiny bite and kept referring to it as the product instead of calling it a burger. And social media immediately started getting on him, y'all. They was not playing. People were basically saying, how does the CEO of McDonald's look scared to eat McDonald's? Right. Then it got even crazier. Other fast food chains jumped into the moment.
Here's how every CEO of a fast food restaurant has reacted to trying their own burgers. Starting off with the first and most infamous one, we've got the McDonald's CEO trying their newest burger. He took the smallest bite of all time and immediately looked disgusted. Next, we've got the Burger King CEO. He took a nice bite out of a Burger King burger and had a very genuine reaction. He said that the only thing missing was a napkin. Next up, we got the president of Wendy's. I feel like it is worth noting he's the only one that actually made his own burger, and he also pointed fun at McDonald's a couple times by saying how their ice cream machine is actually working, unlike, McDonald's. And then he took a bite out of one of their Wendy's burgers, had a nice and genuine reaction. And then finally, we've got Alan, the A&W guy. He was probably the most excited out of them all to try the A&W burger. And immediately when he took a bite, he was just so satisfied. And you could just once again tell he had a very genuine reaction. So out of them all, there was only one of them that did not have a very genuine reaction and honestly had quite a unsettling reaction. And that was the McDonald's CEO. So do with that information what you will. And I'm curious to know your thoughts about all.
The president of Burger King posted his own video taking a huge bite out of a Whopper, joking that the only thing missing was a napkin. And Wendy's also joined the conversation online, poking fun at the situation and fueling the fast food rivalry. Suddenly, this turns into a full-blown internet burger battle. But this situation raises a big question. Why do companies keep putting CEOs in front of cameras? Running a billion-dollar company and being relatable on social media are two very different things. Sometimes when executives try to be influencers, it backfires and turns them into memes instead of marketing. All right, that's it. That's all I have on that, y'all. I think that it is crazy. Like, if you're going to try the food, maybe, at least act like you like it or actually like it. I don't understand how you can work for or own something that you don't stand for. I wouldn't shop with a company like that. All right, moving on to the next. I'm gonna get into it. Let's go. You baby, stop it.
Yeah, I say them niggas nasty.
Put human in the food. Human in the food.
All right, everyone. Let's talk about something that's been hitting everybody in their pockets. Rising gas prices. Across the United States, drivers have started seeing prices at the pump climbing again. One major reason involves tension in the Middle East, particularly involving Iran. When conflict affects major oil product producing regions, it can disrupt the global supply of crude oil. About 20% of the world's oil supply passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route in that region. When instability happens, their oil markets react quickly. When oil prices rise, those costs eventually show up at the gas station. Another reason prices go up this time of year is seasonal demand. Refineries switch to summer blend gasoline, which is more expensive to produce, helping reduce air pollution in warmer months. At the same time, more people are starting to travel, road trips, vacations, and spring break, which increases demand. When you combine global tensions, higher oil prices, and seasonal travel, you get exactly what we're seeing, higher prices at the pump. And it's a reminder that events happening thousands of miles away can still affect our daily lives.
Your eyes are not deceiving you. A gas station in LA was spotted charging more than $8 a gallon for gasoline. Now, gas prices aren't nearly that high in most of the United States. The average price for a gallon of regular gas in the US is $3.48 as of Monday morning, but that's up 50 cents or 17% since the start of the war.
I'm not even filling up right now. I'm just barely, trying to get by with, putting 20 in. But that's not going to last all week.
Oil prices crossed over $100 a barrel for the first time since Russia's invasion of Ukraine 4 years ago. The price of oil could keep rising and go even higher if travel through the Strait of Hormuz doesn't resume soon. Iran has threatened to attack vessels that go through the strait. That's the narrow waterway where roughly 20% of the world's oil travels. And analysts say this is by far the biggest disruption to oil production on record. Oil prices, a quote, very small price to pay. The real question is, how long does this last? If this situation continues for weeks or even months, then you will start hearing concerns about a recession in the US economy.
Y'all, I don't know what happened to my phone, but we're going to move on into our next segment of the night. And we're going to talk about how companies treat their employees. Recently, a story started going viral about a 17-year-old boy named Byron, who worked at Whataburger. Byron had a TikTok account where he did food reviews, and at the end of the video, he would pray over his meal and say, "Jesus loves you." His videos started blowing up and getting millions of views. But no longer after the viral moment, Byron says he was fired from Whataburger. The company later says that they respect employees' religious freedom, but that workers still have to follow company policy in a workplace. Now, depending on who you ask, people see the situation very differently. Some believe Byron was treated unfairly for expressing his faith. Others say companies have rules about filming at work, using company property for social media, or prompting personal content while on the clock. But here's where the bigger conversations begin. Because this isn't really just about one fast food job. It's about something many workers experience across industries. A lot of companies love to say something like, "We're family," or "We care about our employees." But when controversy hits, employees sometimes realize they're just a number on payroll. And that's the real talk. Companies are built to protect the brand first. Not the cashier, not the drive-thru worker, the brand. Now, that doesn't mean every company is this way, but it does mean employees need to understand something important. A job is a business relationship, not loyalty, not family, a business relationship. And when something threatens the company image, the company will almost always protect itself. But interestingly enough, after Byron's story went viral, other businesses actually reached out offering him opportunities. Sometimes what feels like a setback can turn into something bigger, which leads to the question: if companies expect loyalty from workers, shouldn't workers expect loyalty from companies too? So, my advice for oops, y'all.
Wah.
All right, so that's that. All right. So, y'all, this is how I feel personally. You work for a company. They will replace you in a moment. If you need.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my TikTok. Today I'm here with my boss, Kelsey. She's also my youth leader at the Lexington Church of God. And you guys come to the Sonic on 1857 South Lake Drive, you guys. I will be here. Come, you guys, start spamming it up with 5-star reviews on Google. Can't wait to read them.
We have a fundraiser tonight from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. to support White Knoll High School soccer team. If you come in, they will get 100% of all the tips and 25% of all sales. Just make sure you mention White Knoll High School soccer team. Thanks.
Talk your shine, baby. Talk your shine. Before we end tonight's episode, I want to leave you with a little shine advice of the week. After talking about companies, viral controversy, and situations like the employee who got fired from Whataburger, there's an important reminder for anyone who works at a job. Know your worth and protect yourself. A lot of companies use words like family, team, or culture, and those things can absolutely be real in some workplaces. But at the end of the day, a company is a business. And businesses will make decisions based on protecting their brand, their image, and their bottom line. So, what does that mean for you? First, never stop building something for yourself. Whether that's learning new skills, growing your network, or starting something on the side. Second, understand the policies at your workplace. A lot of viral situations happen because employees didn't realize the strict company rules can be. How strict companies' rules can be. And third and final, most important one, don't tie yourself to a job. Jobs can change, managers can change, companies can change. But your character, purpose, and potential are bigger than any position you hold. If you're listening today and feel frustrated at work, overlooked, undervalued, remember this. Your job is something you do, it's not who you are. And I gotta tell myself that all the time because my job be taking me through that. But it's okay. Because I'm not the job, you know what I'm saying? It's just a stopping point. Well, I'm not gonna say it's a stopping point. It's just a point in my life where where I'm going with this. Wait, your job is something you do, it's not who you are. And I have to tell myself that all the time because this is just what I do for a living. This is what I'm doing to get by right now. And of course, you pick up some skills where you are. I believe God sends you everywhere you go for a reason. So, I'm here doing what I have to do right now, but best believe I am on to the next. Jobs change, I change, baby, because I'm on. Y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. All right, y'all. Y'all, that pretty much wraps it up. I thank y'all for joining in tonight. I love y'all. And I really appreciate the love. I thank you, all 18 of my subscribers, y'all. I cannot believe it. Y'all be liking it. Y'all be watching me. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. I hope y'all have a good night. Don't forget to like and subscribe, y'all. Talk your shine. Talk your shine.